from Brooklyn, and we had to like haul it up here to Detroit. That was just an adventure in itself. That's how we started, on the side of the street with like a rinky-dinky food cart.
Alright guys, this is my friend John Goh. We're at K-Plate right now. We're on 4th Street in downtown Troy, New York. And we met through our church and we went to RPI for a little bit together. But you want to just share your story a little bit and just introduce yourself and your business?
Yeah. I used to be a student at RPI for 2.5 semesters, and then it just got like too expensive, so I couldn't keep up with payments and stuff like that. So the solution was I originally wanted to go back to school, so I wanted to do something that I could kind of just do for like a semester or two, and then use that money to pay for tuition and stuff. What we did is we just bought a really cheap food cart from Brooklyn, and we had to like haul it up here to Detroit. That was just an adventure in itself, but that's how we started, on the side of the street with like a rinky-dinky food cart. But from there, we just had opportunities to grow more and more. So there was this incubator, a few blocks down over there, where they just they let us use their kitchen space to, just have like a bigger space indoors and sell out of there. So we were able to do that for like another year. And after that, we decided we wanted to expand our menu and our personal space a little more. So that's when we got this storefront, and now we're just doing this until we decide to either grow out of it or expand to somewhere else. So yeah, that's where I'm at now.
What was the most important thing that you learned from this whole process? Okay, that's a hard question. What was that process like, from going to the food cart to now actually having your own storefront?
It's very different. So I learned that once we started doing this here, I learned that the restaurant industry is like one of the hardest, most demanding industries to work in. Like physically, mentally, it's just so challenging. But at the food cart, it was like kids having fun. We would just prep the food like in the morning and stay in the corner until we were all sold out, and we just pack up and go home. Here, we're serving more of the community, in the sense that we can't just sell this certain amount of plates a day and call it a day and then just go home. We want to stay open our full hours. We want to make sure everybody who comes in the door is happy with their meal, and we want to be just a part of this community by serving.
That's awesome. That's something that he shares often. What do you think is the biggest difference? Because I know you've worked at other jobs before becoming a business owner. What do you think is the big difference that you want to share with people that possibly don't think about the job route, or what can they learn from you, from the experience of both?
I would say that honestly, owning a business is a lot more stressful probably than just working at a regular job. At a regular job, you're just doing the things you're told. You're kind of taking it easy almost, unless you have a really demanding job. Like, you basically just get your stuff done and you're good. But owning your own business is, you got to be on top of everything. If something goes wrong, ultimately it's your fault. You want to be, striving for more and more. But in that way, it's also really rewarding, because you just have so much more potential to do whatever you want. And I don't know, if I wasn't doing this, like a restaurant, I'd probably try to be doing something else on my own, and not the traditional job, just because I know how rewarding it would be. I know how. I just think it's so much more there's so much more potential in trying to do things, not in the traditional sense, but that's just
So just a natural entrepreneur, you want to just do something on your own. Um, that's awesome. So you want to just tell us a little bit more background of how long you've been open and how long you've been here, just to share with people that, hey, it was not too long ago when you were still attending school.
Yeah,
and maybe even touch on parts of why you didn't think it was or your reason why you're not in school now.
Well, so the last time I was in school was, I believe, the fall of 2014. Yeah. And then from there, it took almost a full year to actually get started with the cart.
Yeah, how long has K-Plate existed then?
Yeah. So the cart started the winter of 2015.
Which is almost 3 years?
Almost 3 years ago, yeah. And then we did that for like a few months, I think. And then we went to the toy kitchen for a full year. And after that ended, we spent a few months developing this place, getting the kitchen all up to code and everything. And then we've been doing this for a little over a year now at this spot. Yeah.
What was one of the hardest bumps along the way these past 3 years?
Honestly, just scaling up has been so difficult, just because, when we were at the cart, there's not really too much to be worried about. It's just, a box full of stuff that you have to be worried about every day. Then going into the kitchen is just like, there's so much more movement, there's so much more prep you have to do. And then getting to here, this wasn't even a full kitchen before we got here. It wasn't a restaurant.
Yeah, this was a preschool, right?
Yeah, it was like a daycare.
Yeah.
So we had to install like a hood, get all the equipment back there, install gas lines and all that. And all that too is working with the city and making sure everything's proper and up to code with them. So it's a lot of waiting on them and the contractor and all that. So we were spending a good few months just trying to get it all figured out. So that was a little rough. That was challenging, but
yeah, that's awesome. What are your plans for the next coming year? How do you look to expand even further?
Yeah. Well, for next year or so, we want to really develop our full, potential here. We want to make sure things are right here before we expand and have another location, which is definitely something we want to do coming soon. But we want to make sure that we can be able to transfer everything that we've done right here to another space. So, we want to take things step by step, make sure we have our full menu, make sure operations are running smooth, and just, kind of move that
That's
over.
kind of your goal, though, right? Like
Yeah.
creating some kind of like blueprint of how the restaurant works,
Yeah.
and being able to
Right.
franchise or something, expand it that way. Awesome. You want to give any advice for people that are looking into this entrepreneur route? Maybe some things that you go through emotionally or mentally. Just give some advice to people that are looking to start their own business.
Yeah, I think it's honestly, depending on what you do, it's going to be super stressful. It takes a big toll on you, again, like physically and mentally. It's just so much stress. But I think I learned a lot about just relying on community, just the people around me, and just receiving support and receiving help. Because I'm the type of person where if I see something needs to get done, I just try to do it myself and just grind through it. But I honestly would just not be able to do it without people who support me and people who are just around me and care for me and all that. So just definitely find a community where you can serve and be supported as well.
Awesome. Any inspirations that you have? Any like quotes or people that you look up to, just so people can relate to you? If not, if you don't have, some people don't have any,
Yeah, I don't have any in mind.
Yes. Awesome. This is John Goh again. We're at K-Plate, which is in 4th Street in downtown Troy. Thank you.
Yeah.